Mom and Maddie. So I'm going to make this video for you to show you how I make my face toner wipes that I just absolutely love. So here's everything that we need. You have rubbing alcohol. This allows the essential oils to be emulsified before you add the witch hazel, because witch hazel is mostly water, so it's not going to mix as well unless you mix them first with rubbing alcohol, but not a lot, so it's not going to be really super drying or anything like that. I have a 4-ounce squeeze bottle. These come in a 2-pack at Smart & Final, like $2.50. In this smaller one, I have just pure jojoba oil, which I will add some drops of that in as well to keep it moisturizing. I have a container that I've reused. I liked their Trader Joe's cleansing pads, but I wanted a little more oomph. So now I just use the container because it's really handy. And cotton rounds. I do really like the exfoliating ones from Target, but any ones will do. This is what I just have for right now. And I have all my different essential oils. Most of these I got from Whole Foods because this Whole Foods brand is really good. Now is really good as well. And then I have a few that are more specialized that I don't use as much of. And they are Rosemary, Sandalwood, and Rose Geranium. And this came as a set off of Amazon. And these are individual off Amazon. They're a little pricier, but I only use a couple drops, so they're going to last a really long time. Okay, so here's how we do it. You take your 4-ounce bottle and put about, well, we're going to be using probably about 30 drops, so roughly, nope, that's too much. I'd say about maybe 2 tablespoons worth. It's not a lot. It's just to emulsify the essential oils. Okay. And then I put in lavender first because that is the essential oil that we use the most of in this recipe. So I'm going to put about 20 drops of that in the bottle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And it's okay if you go over a little bit, especially with the lavender, because it's just so soothing and really mild that it's not really a problem. Next, I'm going to do tea tree oil, and I do about half the tea tree oil as I do the lavender. So I'll probably do about 10 drops of this. Okay. So we watch this one a little more carefully. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because a little tea tree oil goes a long way. Okay. Then Eucalyptus, which I fell in love with when I was using Noxema, which turned out not to be as good for my skin as I thought it would be, but I just really love the cleansingness of it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. About 10 to 12 good drops of the eucalyptus. Again, it's not as worrisome because these are all going to be diluted, because the rest of the bottle will be filled up with witch hazel. Then I'm only going to put about 5 drops of the peppermint oil because it is very strong, and that's what's been giving that tingling and cooling feeling. So 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5. Okay. Then my more specialized one. Rosemary is really good for like uplifting and cleansing. I just put probably about 4 or 5 in there. It comes out a little faster than the others, so I have to watch it really carefully. Now the sandalwood is good for anti-aging, which you really don't need, but it also smells really good, and it's really good for your skin. It keeps it really moisturized and hydrated. Now this comes out super, super slow. I usually have to shake the bottle, even though it's brand new, because it's pretty thick stuff. So 1, 2, come on, 3. I think we'll stick with 4. Any more than that, it starts to get a little heavy, like perfumey. We don't want that. Then last is rose geranium. I read that it was really good for your skin. Plus it smells like roses. I really like that. And geranium is really good for keeping acne away. So about 5 drops of that. And that's it for the essential oils. So you pop the cap back on, and then just give it a little like shake swirl. Because really you're just trying to make sure that all the oils mix up really nicely and that they won't separate. And if you notice, if you look inside and it is kind of a little, see if you can see it without me dumping it out. It's kind of milky, but also mostly clear. That's good. That's mixed up well. Now, jojoba oil, very good for keeping acne away and for moisturizing because it's the most like our natural skin's oil. But it does kind of make the pads a little yellowish, especially on the edges because it moves out to the edges. Well, I don't mind it because I know that's what the yellowing is from. And I know that, I'm getting my moisture, so I don't mind it. So as long as you don't either, we're good. And I emulsify that as well because it is oil. So I need to help it mix as well with the witch hazel. A little stir shake. Let's see. Yep, and it's a nice, like light yellowish, kind of creamy, but really pretty clear mix. Okay. So now to that, we are going to slowly, and if you see like a bunch of oil forming on the top, you'll want to add a little more rubbing alcohol to it. But if you don't see any separation by looking down in it, then you're good to go. For the witch hazel, so I'm going to pour it in kind of slowly, just because I want it to incorporate really well. And I'm going to give it a little stir, just that much so far. Just to make sure it's all getting incorporated, kind of like you do a salad dressing, you know. It's getting all milkified. That's good. And then do the rest of it. Okay. And witch hazel is really mild and it's just super good for your skin. So now I'll shake it up and down, back and forth a bit to get it moving. So it's largely clear, which is good because I didn't add, I can smell it. I didn't really add anything that's too like darkly colored. And if you notice any separation of the oils, it's fine. Just shake it up really good right before you pour it over the cotton rounds. Now, speaking of which, you have your container, anything that will fit the rounds in it that has a lid as well. And what you want to do is, I'm looking at about a stack of about 20. And even though it sticks up and out, it will get smaller as it absorbs. Plus, you want it to be kind of packed in there. Now, something I learned right away is I have to fill on the sides first because otherwise it will go all over the top and spill over the edges. So now you're just kind of going around, filling up the container. You can do it over the top, kind of like pancake syrup. You'll probably see that they kind of go down into the container now. And I keep going. Because all of this can fit in this container without a lot of extra because they're cotton pads, so they'll absorb a lot, which is good. And you just keep going. Oh, see, I did a little bit right there. I was getting too overzealous. Just around and around and around. All in there. Okay. So now, you may notice that it seems like there's a lot of extra liquid in there. So then you take a few extra cotton rounds, like, I don't know, 4 or so, and you push them down on top. You don't want to go down too far because they will soak up the excess liquid. But see how there's still room for that extra? Okay. And perhaps a couple more, 2 more. I think they were really saturated, so. And voila. What I like to do also is kind of turn it upside down just to kind of make sure that all the way through the top and bottom and the middle, it's all being moved around in there. Okay. And there you have it. Those are the cotton pads that we've now come to know and love. And I can't live without them now. They're all ready to go. And let's see, they smell. Beautiful, clean, love it. Hope you enjoyed the video.